I'm FX Plu and this is CurrencyTransfer.com's market update for Friday the 4th. So the main headlines are that the rate hike hopes in the UK have been crushed by the PMI data yesterday. The dollar is holding firm, waiting for today's employment data, and euro is struggling to regain the 120 mark against the dollar. So look, last month PMI services for March came out as the lowest reading in 20 months. A rebound was therefore expected for the April number yesterday, and indeed we did get one, but it wasn't nearly as good as the market was expecting. Before the data release, Charlie on the charts was saying sterling was showing signs of a short bottom, FNAF, but then the PMI data came out and quite frankly sterling lost its arse with cable dropping through the 136 figure overnight. So the MPC can put their feet up next week as a rate hike is all but off the table now. However, Carney's press conference will be the main focus of events next Thursday. He'll be expected to present a slightly more defensive outlook of the country's economic prospects and hopefully provide a little forward guidance over future rate hikes and his incoming policy there. Meanwhile, the euro continues to suffer. The ECB refuses to provide anything solid around the tapering of the asset purchase scheme or rate hike guidance. Greece and Cyprus, whilst not hogging the headlines anymore, they're far from out of the woods. Little fun fact for you, 47% of all loans in Cyprus and 35% of loans in Greece are still past due. Bear that in mind when we're considering the Eurozone policy. Euro dollar is back below 120 despite making a high of 120.10 yesterday. It has slipped back below the 120 mark, barely changed overnight, and is expected to sit on its hands largely ahead of the non-farm payrolls today. Which brings us on to the main event, Non-Farm Friday. Forecasts are all over the show for this number. Sentiment seems to have pulled back away from the 300 mark, and current forecasts are around the 200 level. That seems to be the best guess currently prevailing from the analysts. For what it's worth, I'm in the sweepstake at 180. But with my run of form, that's really just a guide for you to avoid if you're playing along at home. Anything relevant, we'll keep you posted throughout the day. Any questions, pop them in the comments below and we'll do our best to respond. See you next week.